guys, Nomis here, and welcome back to Nomishavn. Last time I built the first suburb of the city, with a high density center focused around a metro station and a mall, with some lower density sprawling up the hillsides, and some cable cars as public transit, which was fun and different, and also kind of fitting for the area. It's been a while since the last video, mostly because this episode took a lot longer to make than the others, and also a little because Cities Skylines 2 launched. But I still have plenty of builds I want to do in Nomishavn, and for this video I'm creating an area called Bryggen. I will take lots of inspiration from the area with the same name in Bergen, Norway. Bryggen is the historical waterfront district of Nomishavn, and is listed on the UNESCO World Heritage List because it is a great preservation of architecture several centuries ago. In the 1300s, as Nomishavn had become an increasingly important port, merchants from all over Europe settled there, among them members of the Hanseatic Trading League. They eventually established the Nordic headquarters there, and were largely responsible for the rapid expansion of the area, which can be seen in the architectural style here. Before I get to anything else, I will be creating a custom underground station. This is one of the oldest stations in Nomishavn, and was built as part of the M1 line when the metro network opened in the 1920s. Building a station under a historical area like this was challenging and controversial. A decision was made to design the station differently from the others, built almost entirely out of wood to celebrate the timeless architecture of the area, and incorporating a lot of artwork from Norse mythology, a religion that was equally as important as Christianity at the time, and continues to be important in Nomishavn today. A water feature with dragon heads along the wall, and the main attractions, which are murals with different important symbols in Norse mythology. To achieve this, I'm removing the props from the BM metro station and using a combination of intersection marking tool and procedural objects. And for the murals, I'm using some custom assets that I made myself. Next up, I'm building out the ferry terminal, which sits at the same space as the main port used to be. It has been largely preserved and looks much the same as it did during the 14th and 15th century, when it was used by merchants to load off goods to sell in the city. The old toll office building still sits here, and is today used as offices by the transit agency and holds a restaurant on the first floor. There's also an old crane left here, a little newer than the building, which was used to load crates of boats. After building out the port, I'll start adding some decals in the open space above, and I'll add some little details there towards the end. Before we get to the main part of the build, I'm just gonna finish off some road and path networks in order to have the whole waterfront connected. The main settlement of Bryggen is a cluster of wooden buildings in the Hanseatic architecture style, and it almost forms a little walled city within the city. First off, I'll be building the cluster of wooden houses, all of them converted into procedural objects, so I can modify them to fit together. And it looks a little better when the shapes aren't completely uniform. All of the buildings together will form the streets inside, made of timber boardwalks. And in the middle is a building that looks a little grander than the rest, which is the old Hanseatic headquarters, now serving as a museum. Next to it is a small wooden church, a church that has been there before this settlement existed, and is thought to be the oldest building in the city. Along what will be the main streets coming into the walled city, I'm building these elevated wooden walkways that run along the second floor of the houses, connected by stairs and a footbridge in the middle. This is inspired by Bryggen in Bergen, Norway, which has something similar, but it won't look exactly like it, only taking some inspiration. Coming to the detailing, I will briefly go into what all of these buildings are used for. Historically, this whole area was a community of merchants that both lived and worked in these buildings. A lot of specialized shops, smaller marketplaces and taverns which served foods and drinks. Today it is a very touristy area and has mostly shops, restaurants, hotels and bars. There are a few apartments inside still, but far fewer than there used to be. One of the larger buildings inside even hosts a dormitory for the University of Nomishavn, inside a building which was a private school for training merchants within the Hanseatic League. The idea is just to fill it with a lot of historical looking props, like the old preserved shop signs, wall lanterns, barrels, crates and other things that has been preserved from the area. Off camera I make this all functional using invisible pedestrian paths, block service buildings placed on different levels with Move It and some park people generators a few places.
I shouldn't want you, I shouldn't need you, but I'm afraid that's not up to me. Cause when I hear you sing through my speakers, it's like my mind takes a hold of me. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, making me bleed. You're in my you're in my like I know you better than others, but you don't care, you never reply. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones. You're in my
Moving to the open area that fronts the cluster of buildings will host a number of bars, hotels and smaller kiosks. All of these have an agreement with the city to put up outdoor seating with portable bars during the warmer months of the year. I'll make this using a bunch of different props and make it functional using some of the sidewalk cafe assets. The large open area between the walled city and the port has historically been the main fish market for the city, and continues to do so today. It is kind of a tourist trap, to be fair, and you can get better and cheaper seafood in other spots with far more comfortable seating. Different market stalls sell fish from local fishermen and have a lot of outdoor seating within the old market halls in their area. I'll also add another small port towards the left in a similar style to the ferry terminal. Sitting on the port is one of the bigger nightclubs in Nomishavn. There's also a historical ship docked up here right now. A lot of the waterfront will be filled up with docked personal boats, both yachts and smaller motorboats, and some sailboats, as well as a large sailboat further down which is owned by the state. I'm also adding some extra tire fenders and bollards along the waterfront for realism, since a lot of boats will dock up, and I'm also putting up a few ladders where it makes sense. That's it for today's build, as we are getting towards the end of the time lapse. I hope you enjoyed this build. It took a lot of time, but I think it came out looking pretty much how I wanted it. Of course it's not perfect, but at some point you gotta stop for the sake of sanity and the prop count. I did really underestimate how long this would take to build, and I hope to build out more of the area around, but I guess that will have to come in other videos. I would really appreciate a thumbs up if you liked the video, and a comment if you have some thoughts, and of course subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I hope you have a good rest of the day and stay tuned for some cinematics.